Hello everyone and welcome to the channel, and today we're back taking a look at FreeCAD. This is a follow-up video to the video I made back in November. If you haven't seen that video, I definitely recommend checking it out before continuing watching this one. While that video is about me going into this program blind, this video is kind of going over what I've learned about this program since then, as well as making some corrections. And in the second half of this video, I'm going to just show off and talk about some of the things I've made in FreeCAD. Alright, so one of the big changes from the last time is I switched computers. We're no longer on Windows, as you might notice. We're on good old Mac OS. Also, we have a new version of FreeCAD, version 1.1.1. 1.1 was a pretty big update. I don't know all the features at all, but what they did seem to add is a SolidWorks control scheme. Though I have gotten used to using the Tinkercad control scheme, I can't go back to using the SolidWorks one. I did use SolidWorks recently after using FreeCAD exclusively for over a month. And yeah, I can't get used to the old control scheme. I also changed some of the UI scaling because I was wondering why am I struggling with this, and it's because I found out it's actually the UI scaling was off because I'm on a 4K monitor, and FreeCAD I think expects everyone to use 1080p. I mean, every program expects everybody to use 1080p. My goodness. Got the UI scaling better and just a much more comfortable experience. All right, so let's get into talking about some of the corrections from last time. There's two big ones that I've noticed because I found the tools. I found the tools that I was looking for. In that video, I stated that FreeCAD does not have a continuous draw system. SolidWorks allows you to have the, when you click it, it makes the next line kind of thing. Probably a setting I haven't configured. It turns out there is a continuous draw system, the Polyline tool. I didn't realize that this is a tool, but yes, it is exactly what I was looking for. We can draw out our little triangle here like that just fine. Another cool feature with the Polyline tool is there's different modes on what kind of lines you want to draw. Simply by pressing the M key, you can switch it to doing a fixed vertical. You can also make it fixed horizontal. You can add one of 3 types of curves, and then you can just switch it back to the original follow the cursor mode. Very cool, and I did use it to make a spring kind of shape for one of the projects that I'll show at the end of this video. Another thing I was looking for, collinear constraints. I thought there wasn't. Do we not have a collinear? It doesn't appear we have collinear constraints in here. Well, there is. It just comes in the form of the tangent / collinear constraint. The reason I thought that this was just a tangent constraint, because I didn't read the tooltip at all. By the way, I recommend if you're going into this program to read the tooltips. The reason I thought this was just tangent is because this is what the SolidWorks tangent icon looks like. Pretty much the same as this, except it's a full circle instead of a arc. But yeah, you can just select the 2 lines here. Once you do that, they are completely collinearly constrained. A couple of things I have learned about the program, really cool features I've learned about the program. One of them is the what do you call it? The taskbar here. Taskbar. This is a really cool little feature here. This allows me to select whatever I want from this list here, and I can edit and make changes to it. I can also, use it to disable constraints or whatever. Well, this taskbar thing has been very useful. Another thing I found out, this was actually something I found out in the Raspberry Pi 3D printing video. Also recommend you check out. That was the pattern tools. If you watch the original FreeCAD video, I'm struggling to draw the holes in the wheel with one of the tools they have in the sketch. Oh my goodness. We select the circle. Oh, this is not gonna be fun at all. Probably the FreeCAD aficionados are probably cringing right now. It's like, what is this idiot doing? He doesn't know what he's doing. I know that. I understand. I get mad at people too. Well, if I had just used the polar pattern, it would have been easy. It functions the same way as SolidWorks. I also found out the boss tool has a taper feature. This taper thing has actually come in handy. I don't have to use a separate tool for that. I've also gotten used to this little guy up here, the orientation thing, to the point where when I went back to use SolidWorks the other day, yeah, I was kind of missing this. But I still have to figure out how to do assemblies. I haven't really gotten there just yet, but I will figure it out. So that should be it for the software side of things. Now let's switch over to the camera and check out some of the things I've designed in FreeCAD. All right, so let's talk about some of the things that I've made in FreeCAD. And let's start off with something that might be familiar to some of you. This is the pencil clicker. So the story behind this was originally supposed to be designed in Blender, but Blender, I couldn't figure out how to get all the scaling right so we could, fit a key switch in there and also make sure all the tolerances are correct. So I said, well, it's a very simple shape. Might as well just make it in FreeCAD. So booted up FreeCAD, took whatever model I had already. Some of the test pieces for the key switch part was already made in FreeCAD, but we ended up with this. This was one of the first original multi-piece design I made in FreeCAD, because yes, you could argue the pulley, but the pulley that was from SolidWorks. Pretty cool little fidget toy. I did make a short on it a while ago. That's the pencil. We have some other keyboard switch clickers here as well. We have this guy right here, the 10 key clicker. We've seen this one fairly recently. I know it's 11 keys because you have the decimal point here. It's supposed to be the 10 key on a keyboard here. I know I'm missing all these guys here. Maybe I'll make a bigger one later. Maybe make an entire keyboard at some point, but I don't have enough switches for that. But yeah, probably one of my favorite projects was this guy. Really cool desk ornament. And then to round off our key switch clickers here, we have these two keychain ones. This guy right here is currently being durability tested, so that's why it has the chain attached to it. Attaches to my keys, and when I go out, it's in my pockets, rattles around. I've dropped it a couple of times, and it survived. I've had this thing for about 3 weeks. It's pretty strong. PLA, by the way, is surprisingly strong. It's surprisingly durable in a lot of ways, but weak in others. So, yeah. Of course, we also have our soap dispenser holder from the Bath & Body Works foaming soap. We've also seen this one fairly recently. Still have to seal it, and definitely if I print another one, I have to calibrate or change some of the print settings because that is really nasty there. It's printed in PETG because the internet said that this would be good for around the kitchen. It's fairly durable. It doesn't leach. At least they say it doesn't leach. So that's the reason I chose PETG over the other plastics that I have. I really do like the way this came out, especially this pattern here. This pattern was made way harder than it should have been because I individually drew out all these triangles, or at least I drew out one row and then I copied pasted it a couple of times. Definitely could have just used the pattern tool. Probably would have made it a lot easier, but I made it way harder than I should have. You live and you learn, right? We have this guy here. This was made to try out the spiral tool and made this kind of spring little cup here. Not sure what I was planning on doing with this thing, but it exists. Probably one of the more useless prints I've made, but I still think it's cool. Then we have this guy here. This is a work in progress. This is a gear fidget clicker thing here. I don't want to click it too much because the part that just still needs to be redesigned is the little spring in here. The same spring I talked about when we were talking about the polyline tool. It needs to be redesigned so it doesn't wear out, because this one always does, because it's designed incorrectly. It's completely designed incorrectly, so it snaps. This is supposed to be some kind of keychain, bag charm thing, and I really think it's cool. I just gotta finish it later. Oh yeah, another cool thing about this thing, this is the first ever fully 3D printed design I made in FreeCAD, and funnily enough, the gear here, so FreeCAD doesn't have a gear generator tool. This was not made with that. I made something that looks somewhat similar to a gear tooth and then just rounded it off with fillets and then just said, there we go, guys. We have our gear here. So there we have some of the things I've made in FreeCAD, and I think that will be the end of this video. My opinion on FreeCAD still hasn't changed. I still think it's a pretty fantastic program. If you're looking for a free open source alternative to most CAD softwares, I definitely recommend checking it out. I'll have a link to it in the description down below. Let me know your thoughts about this video in the comment section down below. Also, if you have any suggestions for future projects. If you enjoyed this video and would like to keep up with the uploads, please consider subscribing. I'm also on Instagram. You can follow me there for sneak peeks, updates, and maybe some behind the scenes stuff. I'll also have that linked in the description. I think that will be just about it for this video. I just want to say thank you all for watching. God bless you all, and we'll see you next time.